Rupert, I haven't heard you talk about the breakout rooms yet. And so you were talking about how we go deeper here in a face-to-face retreat, and then we have the online, which is a broader thing. So recently we put together a group which is running the show, and you're right, your words are not there, but there's something else of you that's there.
Yes, it's the friendship. Mary's referring to the breakout groups that we've now added to the Zoom meetings, and which, in my absence, are going on without the Zoom meetings. That it's friendship. The breakout rooms. The purpose of the breakout rooms is to mimic what we do around the table when we're having dinner.
Yes.
Gather together with a group of friends, and there are numerous tables. You can look and say, oh yes, I want to go and sit next to him. You can do the same thing. You can choose from half a dozen breakout rooms. You go and sit with your friends or new friends. And the purpose is to mimic online the quality of friendship that takes place here. And as you know, as many of you know here who have been attending online meetings, the quality of intimacy that takes place on an online meeting far surpasses anything that I ever thought would be possible. Yes. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I wanted it very much before it happened.
And it's an extension of what we do here, abidance and friendship.
Yes.
It's an extension of the friendship aspect of the teaching. And the friendship is one of the ways understanding communicates itself directly and subliminally.
Yes.
It's a valuable and becoming more and more valuable aspect of the teaching.
Yes, I think that is in the same program that you're talking about. You speak less and less, and then you have this other that is now more running the show.
Yes. When I lived with Michael Cardew, the 80-year-old man that I did my apprenticeship with in the pottery, I lived with him for 2 years, the last 2 years of his life. In terms of instructions as to what to do, I'm not exaggerating, it probably totaled 1 hour in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
There were just no instructions.
Yeah.
I just lived with him. I cooked for him, gardened for him, shopped for him, chopped firewood for him, fired the kiln. I just did everything. We, as myself and another apprentice, we were just expected. It was like an apprenticeship with a cantankerous old Zen master. We would just expect to keep our eyes and our ears open. He had a ferocious temper. He was a wonderful, wonderful man, but he had a ferocious temper, and the most ridiculously inconsequential things would trigger it. So you were always on your guard, and you were just expected to pick everything up just by being around, just by hanging around. And strangely, and I came to realize in time, as I began to understand the process, not so strangely, your work began to change. Something I noticed that my work slowly began to have a quality that I loved in his work. And when I first saw his work, aged 15, I thought, that's what I want to do. I changed from biochemistry to ceramics like in 5 minutes when I saw his retrospective exhibition in 1975. I thought, that's what I want to do. I want to make things like that. Yeah. But he never told me how to do it. No instructions. You just hang around and you absorb it indirectly through osmosis. That's the way the friendship aspect of the quality works. You just hang around. My idea is to have a home where these kind of gatherings can take place, people coming in and out, a meeting room, and people just come. And the understanding communicates itself, yes, through guided meditations and conversations, but through meals, through recitals that people give, poetry readings, watching movies together. Just it's the way that understanding. It's in the tradition, it's called transmission.
Yes.
But I've never liked that term.
I called it the living of the teaching.
That's closer. Transmission suggest that one enlightened sage has something very special that nobody else has, and that he or she will give it out if you're sufficiently well prepared. That's not how it is. It's just our being is already shared. Nothing needs to be transmitted. That which needs to be transmitted is already shared. There's no question of transmission. But there is a sharing. It's already shared, but we have to put ourselves in the field to feel it's shared. So it's like being together. That's what satsang means. A sat means being in Sanskrit. Sat means being, and sangha, it doesn't really mean a community of people. It means sharing, which can sometimes be manifest as a community of people, but it really means sharing, coming together. So satsang and now on the contemporary non-dual scene, satsang tends to mean a conversation, a Q&A with a teacher. No, that's not satsang. It might be an aspect of satsang, but the real meaning is the sharing of being. Whether we do it like this in conversations, or whether we do it going for walks together or having meals together, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And I saw a big change in the group when you left and came here. They took it on. They said, we're not going to stop because he's gone. Why not?
Well, I would not be doing a good job if my presence at the group was required.
And we in the group would not be doing a good job if we didn't.
Any teacher, you know I don't like the term teacher, but any teacher whose presence is still required in a person's life after a few years is not doing a good job. Yeah. The teacher should make himself or herself redundant as soon as possible. And they should let go of their students.
Yes.
And not try to hold on to them. The only way it's possible to do that is if you let go of the image of yourself as a teacher. As long as you have an image of yourself as a teacher, you're never going to let go of your students. You're always going to need them to bolster your own sense of yourself as a teacher. So you're always going to be pulling, wanting your students to stay, wanting to hold on to them. No, a good teacher, a real teacher, in my opinion, it should be liberating their students from the feeling of being a student. But in order to do that, they have to be completely liberated themselves from the sense of being a teacher. And then what remains of the relationship? Friendship. Spiritual friendship.
Yeah. And I remember the last time I was there and attended the group, they said, well, if Rupert's good, we may let him come for a few minutes.
Yes.
It's great. I mean, they know.
I love that. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, they know they have it. I've never seen such an exciting group ever. It just works. It works there.
Good. Well, I'm not sure I'm going to show up for meditation tomorrow morning.
But in one of the ways, the voice works too, as you were talking about.
Keep using the mic, Mary, so our friends at home can hear.
The voice that my friend here was talking about, it has been working, and it doesn't announce itself. It just comes in, it takes over. I'll tell you one thing. I brought the phone to you when Lily was on it, and I gave it to you, and you couldn't hear. So the phone started working and walking and taking me across the room to somebody I'd never seen or anything. And it was this woman from the Ukraine who knew, who came from Kiev. And I had no idea, but the voice said, take it, take it, take it. So I just walked across the room and put it in her hand. And there was this conversation going on. That's kind of the way it works with me. It just comes, and I have to be open enough to do it.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, Mary.